Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
Biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the dream in the house. It's the biggest show in the world going down. It is Friday. I'm here with my boy, the Mad Hatter, and we got some stuff to talk about in this world that we call sports.
Waiting for a big play today, Dream.
Oh, you are?
I'm waiting for a big play this evening, and we will get into it later on in the show, but I'm probably guessing that most of the nation already has an idea where I'm going tonight in the NBA. But we'll talk about that later on, Dream. I'm about to shove a bunch of money in tonight. About to go ham on a play, which I haven't done in a minute. But I'm about to do it.
Very interesting. We did hint on it a little bit yesterday. We could get a little bit into it later on in the show. If you did do what I talked about yesterday, then you do have some extra money to play ham with, as Cincinnati wins last night, North Carolina wins last night, the Caps win last night. The only thing I fell short of was Utah. I did like Utah. Wasn't my favorite spot, but I did like Utah. I thought that they would win. They were not able to overcome as
Oregon came into town.
I'm sorry?
It was Oregon.
Yeah, as Oregon was able to diffuse what, Utah could never get it going.
You know what? They just can't get it going, period. I mean, they tease you all year long in the last couple of seasons, and it just seems like this team is just your top 15. You know what I mean? They can never really crack that. And I just don't know if this team has what it takes to, make it to an Elite Eight or a Final Four or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't.
I agree. No, I don't think there's an Elite Eight. I for sure don't think there's an Elite Eight.
Yeah, right.
And I know there's no Final Four.
Right on, Dream. Well, you know what? Anything could happen. I mean, look at Syracuse last year. We saw what happened last year.
It's true. I did forget about Syracuse, but, anything can happen. I think that Utah, it's an up-and-coming program, and I think that they, are kind of getting their legs together, so to say, so far, and, they're sort of been overachieving. It's still a hard venue to play. You get a tough match out of them, and they are competitive, but you're right, they're not. That program seems like it's just not ready for that next step yet completely.
Absolutely.
And then it's tough because you're in the pack too. So even your best teams in the pack, to me, okay, it's my opinion, guys, your best teams in the pack sometimes are like 1 to 2 steps behind the other conferences anyway. So that makes it like, so not only are you trying to get good in the pack, but then you're also trying to be relative as far as the other conferences are concerned, and I think that's an issue.
Sure thing, man. Well, you know what? You got that Arizona team that you've been feeling.
Well, it is one of the teams in the pack. Arizona and UCLA have always been consistent over the years, especially Arizona. A lot of success. And this team right now, I'm telling you, do not sleep on this Arizona Wildcat team right now. They have, especially with getting your guard back, by the time March Madness rolls around, this team will have that type of steam to go the distance with the best of the best as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Dream, I always wondered here, and I put on my Twitter page here, and I just went to the homepage real quick.
Sure.
And there are like porn sites that like it's like these make believe like accounts that just post all these porn pics and stuff
all
like that.
All of a sudden, you get a favor from Betty Ann. Right? And you can see the dope little picture of her mad skin in the air.
I'm like, oh, okay. And then
so you got no choice but to click on because you want to see who Betty Ann is. You're like, oh, Betty Ann's dope.
Who's this girl following me?
And then there's this. Then Betty Ann will have something crazy written on her timeline, like, I want to hump like a wild animal.
I mean, there's some pretty outstanding photos in this one that I'm looking at right now, man.
You know, and it's always like, I love the poor girls, though, period, on there, because it's like, okay, hello. Like, I woke up this morning and you're interested. You don't want to go to dinner. You don't want me to spend no money. You just want me to click on your thing and then you'll just come over and we'll just tear it up and then you'll go home and I'll live happily ever after.
It's pretty crazy, man. But I'm looking at it, and you know what? I'm not a fan of the overly huge breasts. And there's a lot of those pictures on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking like, where they're bigger than your head.
Yeah, no, I know.
I think that's a little, I don't know. Maybe they should do a little bit something different than that. But anyway, guys, good morning to you. We are getting ready for the weekend. We are the SBTV Nation, and I'm sure the dream is amped up and ready for the Pro Bowl.
You know, speaking of that whole board thing, right? Because the internet is an amazing device, and the internet has so much information, even though it seems like after all the information you search up on the internet, you always end up at a porn site or something like that.
Sure.
Especially if you're a guy. Maybe the girls not so much, but the guys. But what's funny is, I don't know if you know this, but let's talk about it. This ain't The View.
Yeah, right. Why not?
If you're doing a little porn search, and all of a sudden, you know what I hate? Those pop-ups that come up.
Oh.
Like there's some local chick that hits you up and it's saying, I'm like, get out of here.
and they're obnoxiously popping up, too.
Obnoxiously pop-ups. They're like, hey, you want to come check me out? And I'm like, what are you doing on my page anyway? Like, yeah, I'm gonna stop my porn right now and get in the car and come see you.
I know. And in the meantime, you're looking for your one favorite female to see if she's got any new movies out.
Oh, my God.
I'm glad we segued into this, Dream.
We are off to an incredible start this morning as we're talking absolutely nothing about sports, but absolutely everything about content that we probably have no business getting into. But hey, we do real life on the biggest show in the world.
You know what it is, man, is that, I don't, besides the stuff that pops up on my social media pages, I don't go to the porn sites and stuff like that because I don't do it because, number one, I don't really have the time. Number two is the last thing I need is something synced with my bride's equipment. And she'd be like, oh, look at all this you're searching.
Say that's the number one reason because
whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean big busted Latinas? What's this all about? You know what I mean?
Whenever your bride comes down and catch you with something that's on top of it, the opposite of you.
Yeah, right. Well,
I got busted. And it was like, these girls don't look like me. I was like, that's the point, by the way.
Chocolate sisters, get going. I'm like,
why am I going to go do porn with somebody that looks like you? I just go do you.
Right. She's like, bondage? What the hell is that? Oh, wow. I know. You know what? This is real talk, boys and girls. That's what it is. Here at the biggest show.
If you're lucky, it's Cash Action Bench just sent me the message too. You just ask your significant other to join in, and I have to be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you guys one little secret about being single now. I do have to admit, I have met the dirtiest girls that I've ever been involved with in my life.
Really?
Since I've been, listen, dude, it's like a whole nother level in the bedroom game now. It's like whatever you want to do, like you're like, okay.
Really?
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, really?
Wow.
The only thing is, after the fact, when your brain starts deciphering the whole thing, and you're like, man, like, well, if she did that with me, like, what else? Like, imagine what she's been doing.
Got blasted by like 10 cats.
You know, imagine what she's been doing. But I will say that right now, though, if you can, it's hard to find that real, the most attractive, or some of the stuff, the real super attractive, and that's down with you. I mean, it's hard to find that. But once you do find that, I will say that whatever you want it seems like sexually in the bedroom, it's like anything goes.
Well, you know what? That's why you can't really break their chops if they want to wait a couple dates or something like that. You got to kind of be patient, especially because, I mean, you know, if they're just throwing down the first time you meet them and you want to get crazy like that, Dream, I mean, like you said, where they been? What they been doing?
But here's the problem, though. If, like, after the third one, you go in the bedroom and it's like, she's like Batman. But you get in there and you're like, yo, what did I just wait like 2 weeks for?
They need to, you know.
What were you doing in the 2 week that 2 week waiting period? What was you doing then?
Got the 50 Shades of Grey going thing. Rocking and rolling, guys. So, Dream. Back to reality.
This little segment right here was fun, and it's obviously Friday, Freaky Friday, in the memory of Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, exactly. And, you know, guys, hey, feel free to send me photos. Why not? You might as well. On the biggest show in the world. We're live on Twitter right now, SBTV Nation and the Dream_SBTV. So, Dream, did you have a pretty good night overall?
Oh, no, the night was dope. Like I said, Cincinnati won, North Carolina won, the Capitals won. I definitely was on the Cincinnati-North Carolina play. North Carolina was a laugher. And North Carolina's three-point shooting and North Carolina's progression as a team is starting to pick up a little bit. I'm noticing a little bit more chemistry, a little bit more fluid. The transition defense looks a lot better. Transition offense was always there with this North Carolina team, but their defense was lacking as far as I was concerned.
Right.
The transition defense does look better now. And Roy Williams, it's a work in progress, but he seems to be molding these kids into what he wants. It's going to shape up for a very interesting ACC tournament and then regular tournament, March Madness, the whole thing.
Right on. I wonder who's going to be the sleeper this year.
You know, I don't know, but there's a few teams out there that are lurking. You know, I know that this Cincinnati team, they just don't do it for me, but they've got there's a lot of potential in them. They still don't float my boat on the big stage, but I saw a lot of potential in this team. They play very well. You know, they seem to be well coached. I like what I've gotten out of them. I could want a little bit more in the shooting category from them as far as three-point shot is concerned and those type of areas. But Cincinnati does have the potential to maybe be a dark horse.
Well,
maybe.
They don't lose at home at all.
Oh.
And they were actually down 8 points in that game last night and came back and stormed back and won the game by 8 points over number 24 Xavier. And you think this Xavier team is
No, Xavier is pretty good. The problem with Xavier, I don't know. Their coach loves a guard-heavy team. He loves to try to beat you with his guards. He wants to try to run, and he just isn't always successful night in and night out. I think that fatigue wears on his roster. I feel that he really has to work harder in his rotations than a team that doesn't necessarily concentrate solely on guards like he does. I enjoy this style, and it does catch a lot of teams off guard, and they are very pesky to certain teams. But I do think that night in and night out over the course of the season, it wears, and it becomes problematic for your rotation, and I think it wears down, and I think certain teams are able to overcome and play well against them, and Cincinnati's one of them.
Got it. And Gonzaga went bananas last night.
Gonzaga went bananas. They weren't on my list of teams yesterday. I have been keeping an eye on them. They are definitely doing their thing. I mean, Gonzaga's not really a dark horse anymore because we all know who they are, you know, being around last, 5-6 years in the tournament. So, but they went crazy last night.
Mm-hmm. Coverage spread by 9 points.
Yeah, coverage spread by 9 points, 79-43. What's impressive is that they held San Diego to 43 points. I don't know if I believe Gonzaga's the number 3 team in the country now.
Well, they're undefeated, Dream.
I don't know if I believe that Gonzaga's the number 3 team in the country.
Why not?
Go look at that record. Go look at who they play.
You mean the strength of schedule?
No doubt, player.
All right, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know how that works. It's the same thing with, college football. You know how it works. Some teams in Gonzaga, That's one of the problems with Gonzaga. Even sometimes you could say VCU to an extent too. They come into the tournament and they just haven't been as battle tested throughout the course of the season as some of the other teams have been.
You mean Wichita State?
Wichita State, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So moving on here, Dream, you got any other college basketball to have a conversation about? I do see that Arizona won by 17 points. Pretty impressive.
No, it was impressive, but like I said, they were given 22 player.
Yeah, good point.
You know what I'm saying? So it was impressive, but didn't cover what they should have. And by the way, they should have blew the doors out. But see, that's my thing when you got a 22, so you're up like 20 and you're feeling happy. You know, so at the end of the game, you're kind of giving up garbage points. Next thing you know, you end up winning the game by 17. You don't care. As far as you're concerned, you still blew them out and you were dominant. Coach got able to test a couple things that he wanted to do. Whether it was successful or not, he can evaluate later on film. Meantime, the gambler's standing there going, damn, what happened?
Yeah, right on.
I will say this. I'm looking over Gonzaga's schedule, and I will give Gonzaga the credit of, you know, that they did beat Arizona.
Yes.
They did beat Arizona, and that to me is their, and they also beat, see, I don't like Iowa State that much, so I'm not going to count them. I am going to count Florida a little bit, but it was early in the season when they beat Florida. That Florida team, though, is very up and down and very inconsistent, but their real test was Arizona, and moving forward, they don't play nobody, dude. I mean, they're going to get to the tournament having played no one.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it goes, Dream.
I know it is, but keep that in mind, gang. Gonzaga, if you look at the rest of their schedule, they just are not going to really get tested until the tournament. They're not.
I understand that. I get it. But you know what? This is just the way it goes. And, I mean, you got to look at it maybe as tune-up games, you know?
For sure. Let's talk about Super Bowl for a minute.
What you got?
Super Bowl tickets right now, player. If you got 6 G's available, I could get us some nosebleeds in the Super Bowl. We could sit up somewhere where we probably would need a parachute.
I heard they're $3,500 for the cheapest ones.
Really, the cheapest one? Oh, I saw $6,000. But you saw 35, really?
Yeah.
Just one ticket or?
One ticket.
Okay.
One ticket, 35. Well, that's what I heard on the radio yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know if the tickets have increased or not.
Okay.
But you know what I mean. So what I heard was, if you wanted to get it, basically the Super Bowl package for one person, if you wanted to go to cheap way out, it's going to cost you about $5,000. Okay. Because what happens is the ticket is $3,500, cheapest seat in the house, probably where everything looks like ants. Secondly, the hotel room is about $300 a night, and that's about 9 miles away from the stadium. So you're going to be into that for $600. And then the airfare is roughly about $600. So right there, you're at $47. Obviously, you know, you got to get a car. You got to get your baggage, stuff like that. You got to get your baggage checked. You're over $5,000 just per one person for a dusty seat there.
Well, according to USA Sports dropped the news, and they're saying that there are 1,000 tickets available on the secondary market as of Monday morning, with an average listing price of about $6,000, which could make this Super Bowl the most expensive ever.
Well, they're going to just keep going up, Dream.
Oh, no doubt. I'm sure.
You know what I mean? As the demand continues, and you know, when you have, it doesn't really matter who's in the game.
As far as,
you know what I mean? Regardless, year to year to year, it just seems, it's obviously the two best and hottest teams that are in the NFL.
Well,
so,
they're saying that, just to cut you off, I'm sorry, but they are saying that had a Steeler, Cowboy, or Packers appearance, the tickets would have started at $10,000.
Really?
Yeah, and I believe, especially with the Cowboys, come on, really? The Cowboys probably would have been 15, because you know that they could have sold the Cowboy Nation.
Yeah, right.
They could have made any price, and them guys would have been there, showed up with their IROCs and the leather, the 90 leather Cowboy jackets, and the Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman jerseys, talking about how they were going to murder whoever they played in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Because, they're
Cowboy fans, I'm so happy, y'all crying.
How about them Cowboys, Dream?
Quiet like you're supposed to be in your. I am so happy. So happy. And next year, remember, don't make the same mistake.
No doubt. Couldn't agree more with that, Dream. So moving on here, do you want to have a conversation about the NBA?
I don't yet, because I do want to say this about the Super Bowl, and I want you guys to jot this down right now and remember this that I'm saying. This is a fact, and you're hearing it from the Dream, okay? This 2-week break will have much more of an effect on the Atlanta Falcons offense than it will have on the New England Patriots. This 2-week break absolutely, positively is to the Patriots' favor and to Atlanta's unfavor. It's going to bother your timing. It's going to mess up their rhythm. It's going to screw everything up. And I would not be at all surprised if the Pats are ahead at the half. So it may be a good idea to remember this, to whatever the first half play is, just to take the Pats to win the first half, because this break will definitely affect the Atlanta Falcon offense.
Absolutely, Dream. But we'll have that conversation. I mean, there's so many bets. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of bets out there.
Oh, no doubt. The prop bets are absolutely ridiculous, like it is every year. And we'll get into that, for another show. We obviously got a Super Bowl show planned, and we're working on it. So we're going to get into that. But I just wanted to make that comment and statement now, because sometimes I forget. There's stuff that I want to talk about. I do have it written down. I save it to get maybe to it later in the show, then I forget about it and don't get to say it. But I want to say this right now, that the Atlanta Falcons offense is definitely going to be hampered by this 2-week break. It's going to affect them the most. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about taking Atlanta in the Super Bowl. Right. We can move over to the NBA. Yes. And this is one of the reasons why Hat and I started this program. Because we want to keep it real with you. All right? And I know you've been hearing the rumblings and jumblings about LeBron James fighting with management about contracts, payroll, and money. And the press keeps sugarcoating it with, LeBron wants another guy. But listen, this is the real issue. There's 2 real reasons, okay? Number one, LeBron is looking right across the street at Golden State. Okay? That's the only issue that LeBron has. It's got nothing to do with losing to anybody he's lost to already. It's got nothing to do with them good. It's got nothing to do with them going back to the finals, all right? It's got to do with LeBron's looking at Golden State and he's saying, hey, you know what? I don't think this team can beat that team.
Yep. Well, okay? You know what? Dream, it goes even back to last year when they fired David Blatt. Remember?
No doubt.
I mean, they were in first place, and I believe they were the number 1 seed with their record. And they got blown out by Golden State. I want to say it was, I don't know if it was on Christmas or was it like somewhere around that, where they got blown out in Cleveland by Golden State, and they took the knee-jerk reaction and fired David Blatt right out the gate.
No doubt. And my thing is, some of you guys want to get mad with LeBron, some of you guys don't. I don't care how you feel about him. I mean, that's your opinion, and everybody's entitled to that. One thing that I am kind of feeling, though, is maybe I don't like the way he's going about it, which is general with me and LeBron. Sometimes I don't like the way LeBron handles things as far as public and media standpoint, but you have to love his desire to want to win, because you're talking about a guy that just won the championship last year, okay? The average player sits back, has no issues with, okay, let's just go out and play ball. We'll go back again this year. Maybe we could win. Because it's occurring to me, and I don't know if it occurs to you, but Cleveland Cavaliers management is saying, well, hey, we won last year with these guys. We didn't have Korver. We had Dellavedova and we had Mozgov, and we won last year. Yeah, right. And LeBron is basically telling them, hey, listen, I know we did that last year, but some of that was some luck. Some of that was OKC wore Golden State out before we got to them. But I don't want to go into the party this year without enough firepower to match this team, because they definitely, Golden State, set up. I mean, if Golden State doesn't win a championship this year, it's a failure.
I agree with you.
It's a failure.
And you know what? I mean, the way they're looking right now, I mean, we talked about it in the beginning of the year where, they started out slow and they just have to gel as a unit. And I think now you're starting to see them hit the stride.
The other thing that I think that LeBron also may have going on, I think LeBron wants Carmelo on the team.
You know what? I've been reading a lot about that.
I think LeBron wants Carmelo on the team. Now, the problem is it's apparently, I guess the Knicks don't want Kevin Love, but I don't really think LeBron wants to let Kevin Love go neither. He wants to put Carmelo on the team and keep Kevin Love, which probably is what has him odds with management, because you're like, hey, LeBron, come on, the payroll's crazy. He's like, I don't care what the payroll is. So here's the deal, LeBron. If you don't care what the payroll is, then why don't you run back, I don't know, 50, 60 million to the organization and tell them to take that money and go get Carmelo.
Right.
I mean, he's making the money in endorsements. God, Lord knows how much money LeBron James got. I mean, right, come on. I mean, $100 million contracts he had like the last couple of years. So the money is absolutely ridiculous as far as that's concerned. So I don't see what the issue would be with him running back some more money and telling him to go get Carmelo Anthony and setting him up as well. Because if they keep dragging their feet, Carmelo Anthony looks like he's going to be a Clipper.
Good point, Dream. Exactly. Well, you know what? Hey, speaking of the NBA, we got a couple of games tonight.
Well, we got a couple of games tonight, but before we get into that, a couple more things about the NBA.
Yes.
First of all, I talked about the circus in Chicago. It keeps getting deeper because now Rondo responds in this big message about the vets he used to play for, and dude, it sounded so like my 9-year-old wrote it.
Yeah.
Okay, it was like, oh, they never complained when we lost a game. They never blamed any of the other players. They showed up every night wanting to play. They never blamed us. Stop.
I know.
Stop.
I know. I'm aware.
Stop, Rondo.
I'm aware, Dream.
Like, nobody's like Rondo. If you think people are gonna take your, first of all, Rondo, you're now a vet too. By the way, Rondo's acting like he's a rookie.
He's getting up there in age now.
No doubt. That's what I'm saying. How are you referring to vets when you're a vet acting kind of dumb?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
now I got to send a message back to you. I don't remember the vets ever writing a silly message like this. You know, and, you know, like I said, Dwayne Wade and Butler, I don't necessarily know that they should have did it the way they did it. You know, I feel like stuff like that's in-house. You call a team meeting, you know, you say, look, this is not working, guys. You guys are not holding up to your end of the bargain, and you handle it in-house. You don't have to go public with them. So I don't necessarily agree with that particular way that they went about it. But Rondo answered back. And by the way, if they thought that was going to affect Rondo and get him to get on board and play right, come on, dude. Then your guys are dumb anyway, because you know that's not going to affect Rondo. Rondo used to act like a clown when he was in Boston with Doc Rivers, KG, and the rest of the bunch.
Of course he did.
So, I already was scratching my head when they assembled this team and then decided to throw Rondo in the mix of it. That was already a head scratcher to me. So, that's what you got going on in Chicago. The circus just continues. That's a bad. Who knows what's going to happen with that team now, as far as winning is concerned.
Sure thing.
In other news, Canner fractures his arm.
Oof.
Punching a chair hat.
Punching a chair?
Punching a chair.
Ah.
Fractures his arm. So now, as if Russell Westbrook didn't already have enough of the load to carry, Canner's out of the mix now for 2 months with an arm fractured for punching a chair. Dude, one of the dumbest. These guys, I mean, you can't make some of this
Westbrook
stuff up.
went bananas last night, by the way. 45 points.
He's going to have to go bananas every night.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
That's what it's going to be. Just if they want to win, Westbrook has to go bananas. That's what they should change the name of the team to.
You know what? We should have been pounding his player props after he got the snub on the All-Star game.
You know,
we talked
point.
about it. We talked about it, Dream.
Yes, we did.
Just missed it. But you know what? The player props, guys, the player props in the NBA, I'm just going to tell you that there is some real money to be made when you look at it. Because what you got to do is you got to look at basically, you know, your players' strong points and how they can react and how the other teams are going to defend them. And Dream, it was great last year, and I really got to start diving deep. Once football comes and goes, which already, I mean, we're at the Super Bowl now. All there's left right now for me is the NBA. There's college basketball, but you know what? I have not been tremendously successful in college basketball, especially when you got these great road teams or great teams that go on the road that lose in other houses and stuff like that. You know what? The player props are where it's at for me in the NBA, and tonight is where it's at in the NBA for me as well.
Player props in the NBA, I happen to agree with you. Specific players, though, obviously. But you're absolutely right, because you can sometimes gauge the NBA by the press and what's going on in the media. You can figure out how that player is going to react to that. And I agree with you 100% with that. We started. I think you started plugging that last year. You were very successful with that.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's not just that. I mean, that is one big key ingredient to this. When you have, the media on somebody, or there's something that happens emotionally, or something that happens in a locker room, or blah, blah, blah. But there's also times where you have, like, I'll give you an example, like the Boston Celtics, for instance, where, they have been foul prone. To foul like crazy. They were, like, last year, like, the top fouling team in the NBA. And, we took a prop where LeBron would have over 8 free throws. And that cashed by, like, early third quarter. Like, I think he had, like, maybe 15, something like that. So, it's all kinds of things that you got to look at, guys. If you're smart, you can make some serious money. And then eventually the books are going to start tapering down your limits as far as the player props are concerned. So you're just going to have to go find it somewhere else. Kind of spread the money out a little bit.
No doubt. And it's good to see my man Shane Whitehead back with us. We know that we sent you all of our thoughts and wishes about your mom, and very sorry to hear about that, brother, but good to see you back in the game and back with us. Hey, just happy that you're back.
Absolutely, Dream. So, guys, we will not be on the show this weekend. I am flying out to San Antonio, Texas, going to take my kid to see the Royal Rumble. And I'm looking forward to a Dream. That's the one WWE event I have not seen live yet.
Okay.
And I'm, 38 years old, and I've seen WrestleMania. I've seen Survivor Series. I've seen a bunch of pay-per-views, but I've never seen the Royal Rumble, and I'm pretty excited about doing it, considering the fact that I have fourth row tickets right between the ramp where they walk out and the ring. So I'm gonna be sending some pictures out on social media and stuff like that. I'm gonna have some very, very good photos of this, guys. It's gonna be real cool. So, you ready?
I am.
All right, guys, listen. We're going right to the NBA, and we're going to a team that is the defending champions of the NBA, and we are going to go to a team that has faced a ton of adversity over the last week, and that is my boy LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The line opened up at 16.5. It's down to 15 as they are playing the 2-19 on the road Brooklyn Nets. Now, I am not recommending anybody do what I do, okay? I'm not a handicapper. This is what I'm doing myself. I am going to lay the 15 points, and I think Cleveland wins by 20 or more tonight. I wouldn't be surprised, Dream, if they went bananas in the first half. And that's far to say, because you know what? They tend to screw around in the first half.
No doubt.
I think that I honestly, Brooklyn is Brooklyn. They've lost 3 straight. This team just can't get out of their own way. And I mean, who knows? Brook Lopez could be resting tonight. He's one of the most rested players I've ever seen, by the way. I want to say it was like the 3rd game of the season he was resting.
Right.
It was stupid. But anyway, I'm looking at it. Obviously, we got to look at the injury report. Make sure Cleveland's at full strength and they are playing everybody. If they are at full strength, guys, listen, it's 9:41 in the morning. So we don't know yet. As it gets closer to tip-off at 7:30, probably somewhere around the 6:45 to 7 o'clock mark is when I'm going to go absolutely ham on this play. So listen, you know what? You guys do what you want. Tail me, fade me. I don't want to recommend anybody tail me. I don't want to do nothing like that. I'm just saying that I'm on the show, and I'm telling you where my money's going tonight, and I will be glued to this entire game. Where you at with this game, Dream?
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is this is the one time I'm going to recommend, if you like what he's saying and you think you want to do what he's doing, unfortunately, unless you want to get this at 17 points, I think you need to take it now, because I think that this line is going to go up.
I don't want to take it now.
I know you don't, but I think the line's going to go up. I got to be honest with you. I think the line's going to go up, and I don't really see any reason why they wouldn't have a full roster, especially with all the banter that's been going on right now and all the fighting that's been going on, and LeBron in the news, and they haven't played since Wednesday. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't have a full roster tonight, and I don't see any reason why they would sit LeBron James. That would look really dumb for him to be in all this fighting, and because that's all you really care about.
But
honestly.
But it's Brooklyn, Dream.
Say what?
It's Brooklyn.
I know it's Brooklyn, but I'm just saying, all you really care about is making sure that LeBron plays. Because anybody else not playing, because it's Brooklyn, as long as LeBron's playing, you're going to feel fine.
I disagree.
All right, so you don't want, here we go, Hat. Okay, so Kevin Love's not playing tonight. You still taking Cleveland?
Yeah, the only guy that I'd be a little worried if he wasn't playing was Kyrie.
All right.
So, but I want to make sure, hey, listen, this is a pretty strong play. I'm not going to be screwing around. The only injuries that we have as far as like day-to-day status is your boy Def Jeff, Richard Jefferson. That's it. That's all we got to worry about tonight. So hopefully they stay playing.
Jeff better get on the court. If he knows, like I know, based on his age and gameplay, dude don't need to be missing no games because he will find himself not on the roster.
I can't see anybody for Brooklyn that's going to give any problems. I mean, even Jeremy Lin's out for he's out for 3 to 5 weeks here. So I just don't see anybody on the roster that's going to contest Cleveland at all. I think that this game is going to be a good one to gamble on, and I don't normally lay a lot of points like this, but I have to with my boy. They got to come out and Dream. They can't have a close game with Brooklyn tonight. What if they have a close game and it's neck and neck in the fourth quarter? I mean,
I'll be murdering you if they do. I'll come and find you wherever you're at.
No doubt.
I'm gonna come and find you wherever you're at. So you better hope they don't have a close game.
It is what it is. So we will keep it moving and go from there. You see any other spots that you like tonight?
I do see one other spot that I like. I don't love it. I like it. The problem is I don't know enough about the Milwaukee Bucks, but I do know that the Raptors are in a terrible losing streak as well right now, and they are looking to get their season back on track again. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot about the Milwaukee Bucks. I've heard, some of the guys on the nation have told me about them being good and being successful this season. They are, though, 8-13 on the road. The Raptors are 15-8 at home. I like the. Do you have a line on the Raptor game? Because I don't.
There's no line yet.
No line yet. Okay. Got to take a look at the line, but I do think that the Raptors are going to bounce back and get a win tonight in their house as they've dropped, I believe, 3 straight.
Nice. It's a pretty good spot for them to bounce back.
Let me check exactly how many they dropped since I can check that. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on one sec. You have it there, Hat, by any chance?
What was that again?
The Raptors, how many they've lost? Here, now I got it right now. I'm pulling up. Hold on.
Yeah,
the Raptors have lost. Yeah, they've lost 5. The Raptors have lost 5.
It's because they stink.
They lost 5. Now I like them even more, okay? Because they've lost 5, so they really need to stop bleeding right now. So you might want to look at the Raptors tonight. Unfortunately, there's no line, so we can't give you a line, but you may want to look at that. I would say anything under 6, and you're good. 8, I'm going to be a little bit leery with the 8, but anything under 6 is great. And, if you want to just throw the tease in with, I don't usually do teasers, but if you want to throw the tease in with the Cavs, it won't hurt to take some points off of the Cavs number, even though I think the Cavs rock and roll.
Yeah. Dude, I can't wait for that game. Can't wait. Guys, please, I don't want to hear anything if you guys take it and it bombs, because I'm not recommending it.
You know what, dude? I think we've eliminated most of that stuff from them guys are no longer. They don't. I think they've gone away because I've had a couple of blow up in my faces. I haven't heard much about any of that anymore. So I don't think we have that issue. I think we've weeded out the children, and we have adult seasoned gamblers now.
Yes.
And people that understand. And not to mention, dude, I think statistically. We do a lot. We win a lot more than we lose.
Yeah, it's been good.
Okay,
Statistically,
it's been good. I mean, look, last night, I hit 3, lose 1. I mean, for me, me, I want to win them all. So I hate the one I lose because I always feel like, I gave out 4 plays, but what if somebody only took the Utah play? So now they're not feeling me at all. But I don't get a lot of rhetoric about that, and I get a lot more rhetoric from people saying, hey, thanks a lot for these 3, thanks a lot for this, thanks a lot for that. Unfortunately, the DM plays that I've run this season during football just were not successful.
Well, you know what? And or what they do is you win your first 3, and the pack is the late game. So they put everything on the pack.
They want to go ham because he's hot.
And get murdered.
Feel bad for you, but you guys know the rules. You know better than to do stuff like that, I hope.
Yes, exactly. So what else you got up your sleeve?
All right, that's it for the NBA as far as tonight is concerned. I'm going to give you a little NCAA tomorrow. Now, had talked about college hoop, and, you're actually the person that turned me on to college hoop, so I'm surprised. 3 years ago when we started this program, you were a big college hoop guy. You've lost a little bit of luster with your college hoop. You turned me on to college hoop, and I feel like I've been more successful with college hoop now, maybe than you have. So...
You know what it is? It takes me a while to get acclimated with it year by year.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like when football's going, Dream, I just have no... It's not that I have no desire to watch it. It's just that I just don't feel comfortable enough to be putting my money on it. I have done little... I've dipped my toe in the water a couple times this year so far. But, nothing crazy. Just because, they are still kids at the end of the day. And you know what? I do enjoy playing futures come tournament time. So it's something to take a look at as well. But, I know that there were some players out there or some people out there that got some pretty good odds on some of these teams that are emerging this year. So best of luck to you guys, and I hope you cash.
So with college hoop, my opinion is I think college hoop is one of the best sports for spot betting, which I've talked about over the years on this program, which I think is the most successful way to gamble is to spot bet. College hoop, you get a team in the top 25 and especially the top 10 that catches a loss on the road, you can almost assuredly guarantee when they get back home, they're going to get that win. Okay, so there's a couple of teams that you can gauge. And then if you find that bad team and, they happen to, that makes it even better if you get one of the top 25 to top 10 teams coming in to play a bad team. Then you know that they're going to go ham and take advantage of a situation if there's blood in the water. They're not going to let up off the gas because the coach just got in their ass that much more off of that loss. And to me, it's one of the better sports to spot bet. So that being said, going into Saturday, you got a couple of teams that had a couple of losses with a couple of things going on, all right? And Kentucky is one of them, okay? Kentucky lost, and Kentucky has Kansas coming in on Saturday to play. There's no line yet, guys. It's Saturday, so I'm talking about it today. But, obviously, I don't expect the line to be that overzealous. Kansas does have some stuff going on in the background behind the scenes that's taking their minds off of basketball, a little bit of distraction as well. Kentucky, Calipari's gone crazy on these guys over that loss against Marquette. So he's been in there behind. Sorry, not Marquette. It was Tennessee. I'm sorry. But he's been in there behind. And this is a great game for him to bounce back from. So keep an eye on Kentucky going into Saturday. Butler's playing Georgetown on Saturday. Butler's home. This Georgetown team, I talked to you about this team not being good, especially not being good on the road. They're going into Butler to play Butler. Take a look at Butler. It may be a lot of points. I don't know what it is, but we're not going to be on tomorrow, so I'm not going to have a chance to give you these tidbits. But Butler, I like Butler to beat Georgetown, with Georgetown coming in. Another game that I like on the road for Saturday, my last one I'm going to give you, is I like Florida playing Oklahoma. Oklahoma lost Buddy Hield, and Oklahoma basically is a wrap, okay, as far as being a good team. Florida's coming in. Florida had a dreadful, abysmal loss to Villanova last Saturday. Florida's coming in on the road, got their legs back midweek, caught a win. I expect Florida to keep the pedal to the metal. I like Florida to beat Oklahoma on Saturday. Sunday, 4 more teams to look at on Sunday. Take a look at Villanova, coming off their loss to Marquette. Take a look at Louisville. Take a look at Arizona, and take a look at Xavier. Villanova, Louisville, Arizona, and Xavier. Take a look at all those teams on Sunday. You guys can hit me up. If I get around to it, I can DM. If I don't, I cannot. That's my opinion. That's where I'm at. We don't have any hockey. There's an all-star game coming on Sunday, and we'll have some fun with that. And hockey will be back for us, I believe, Tuesday.
All right. Sounds good, Dream. And the NFC versus the AFC Pro Bowl, there is no line yet. So nobody's really betting on it yet, Dream.
But Des Bryant and ODB are there having a ball.
Yes. Right on.
Which, to me, is just like, par for the course. Par for the course. Don't forget my talk about Serena Williams and Venus Williams match that's coming up. Like I said, I will not be shocked. I'm not saying that Serena's throwing a game. I'm not saying that games are fixed. I didn't say none of that. All I'm saying is I would not be surprised if some of the intensity is just a little bit off on Serena, and I would not be surprised if Venus Williams won this match. Just what I'm saying.
All right. Sounds good, man. So let's get out of here. Dream, get ready for the weekend. What you got?
Yes, we're going to get out of here. We're going to thank everybody that's retweeted the show as we normally do. Let me just pull them up and get right into that, gang.
Absolutely.
Hey, guys, get out there, enjoy your weekend. If you can, don't forget about the fam. Don't forget about your responsibilities. If you drink, please don't drive. Be safe. And always take it easy and keep life in balance, as we always talk about. Terrence Mack, T-Mac is in the house. Got to be happy as North Carolina Tar Heels did their thing last night. Vegas Girl 92661, good to see you out there. Fast Eddie 72 in the house, always supplying us with the finest of the finest ladies. Vegas Jack is in the house. Buster Carr, what's up? Shane Whitehead, once again, good to see you back, brother. And glad to see you, getting back to your usual. Good to see you. Benjamin Rose in the house. Joseph Del Rosario is always out there. LA Whiz Kid, Big Boy, Cash Action Bets, JC, just to name a few. My man Scott Weaver, see him out there hitting us up. Good to see you as well. Sir Mata, gotta send a shout out to him. Gotta send a shout out to my man Jonesy, Killer Cam 505. Let's send the lovely Pamela Michelle a little shout out and some love. Sin City Maverick, Rick Lopez, my boy Irvin. Also, JDH24, Shy Picks, Caveman, Jackie, Buster Carr, Winning Picks, BT, SD Grind, and Tiger Clinch. Gang, have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday to kick it with you a little bit. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you with. Make the most of each and every day, because you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir, Dream. So, guys, it's the weekend, and you know what? A lot of people take the weekends to just kind of chill. And you know what? That's all well and good if that's what you want to do, if that gives you peace and whatnot. However, if you're at a position in your life right now where you think that you need to advance your life and do something better for yourselves, sitting on the couch and doing nothing will not get you there. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to put that out there, okay? I break my ass 7 days a week because I got goals and places that I need to be in life. So do whatever it is you got to do whatever it is you want to do and get that money. Let's go.